Okay guys, back doing some fly time videos now, coming up on that time of the year again. I did have some on the channel, I think it's just one there now. A lot of the older ones, the lighting was very dark in that, so I ended up removing them, and I'm going to give that another chance now, and hopefully these will be much better than the previous ones. So today we're going to be tying the white winged blue charm. This is a favorite here in Newfoundland, and it is the fly that I get asked for the most. I got to get a few of these tied up, so I said I might as well do a video on this one first. So we're going to start off with some white thread. We're going to tie in some oval silver tinsel. Roughly around 4 wraps or so. Should be plenty. Now for the butt of this fly, we're going to be using some red Glow Bright. I believe yellow is the original. You can use just about any color you want, and you can also use like floss or like uni stretch. Personally, I like the Glow Bright now. It is a whole lot brighter than some of the other materials. So we're going to tie that in, and we're going to wrap back. And all the way forward again. Right there should do it. So in case you are wondering, I do use white thread first, because I find that if you use black thread, and like if you use floss back here or uni stretch, whatever the case may be, when that material gets wet, you can actually see the thread kind of come through it a bit, so it kind of takes away from the brightness of the butt. So I use white thread first, and that usually solves that problem. But since that's done now, we're going to tie off the white thread and switch over to black thread. So the next thing we're going to tie in is the tail. For the tail, we're going to be using some golden pheasant crest. This one's getting pretty well down there now. But, it's pretty good. So the next step now is the rib, and for the rib we're going to be using some oval silver tinsel. I'm just going to tie that in and wrap there. I'm just going to leave that for now because we've got to do the body first. Now for the body, you have a couple options. Some people like to use purple floss. The most common way, of course, is black floss. That's what I'm going to be using today for this one. I'll tie up some purple ones later. So we're just going to tie that in now, and we're going to work our way back. Okay, I'm just going to come all the way forward again. That should be good right there. Now we're just going to wrap our rib. I usually just use my rotary vise, but I usually end up striking the camera, so I'm just going to wrap it like this. usually about 4 wraps or so. So our next step now is to tie in the throat. I usually just turn my fly upside down to do this. You don't have to, but it makes it a little bit easier. There we go. I love that Silver Doctor blue. I use that quite a bit in a lot of flies actually. It's a really good colour for salmon. So the next step now is to tie in the wing. Before I tie that on, I'm going to add just a little bit of wax to my thread, and that'll help bite down on that wing. So I'm going to tie that in now so that the wing comes roughly about halfway down the tail or so. Everyone seems to have their own preference for the length of the wing, but that's usually what I do. So when we got that secure now, we're just going to snip this off. And we'll whip finish. Now just to finish this fly, now I usually do 3 steps for my salmon flies. The first thing I do is I add some clear head cement. And this will soaks in much better than the black. Okay. So now that the clear is dry, I'm going to add some black head cement. And my eyes are not so good as they used to be, I tell you. That don't help. Now once that black head cement dries hard, I'll add some head finish. Now if I were, tying up a bunch of these for the sale, what I would do is just apply the clear and I'll set it aside and I'll just keep going like that. And I'll probably do about a dozen, and then I'll go back over them, add the black, put those down, let them dry, and just continue on like that. And that way, it don't hinder your production or anything like that, right? With that said, now we're just going to let that dry and put the last coat on. So that's it, guys. That's your white wing blue charm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.